Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some breaking and relatively interesting news out of Gainesville this afternoon as Austin Simmons, you've heard the rumblings of Austin Simmons reclassifying to 2023. Obviously, he's the committed quarterback in the 2025 class. It sounds like that's official. Austin Simmons is going to be enrolling with the Florida Gators in the summer in the 2023 class and will be in the quarterback room during fall camp. And we're going to talk a little bit about what this means for the quarterback room in 2023, but also with DJ Lagway coming into that 2024 class, what does it mean for that? And what's this quarterback room going to look like a year from now, 2 years from now? Now, before we get into it again, just want to say thank you to you guys, especially the Florida fans. You guys have been awesome, whether we're talking high school recruiting, the transfer portal. You guys have shown a ton of love. So if you do enjoy the updates, you like to talk, consider subscribing to the channel. And Florida fans, let me know in the comment section how you guys are feeling about this, because you might not agree with my take on this. But I think to get into it, I think you're happy about this. Austin Simmons is probably going to get some burn in 2023. Probably will sit at that quarterback 3 spot. But if I'm Billy Napier, and we've talked about this before, Billy Napier, I think, is going to give a lot of young players a lot of playing time in 2023. I think he realizes that this season in 2023 is not we're competing for an SEC title. We're competing for a national title like the normal seasons are for Florida. I mean, you coach in Gainesville, an SEC title, a national title, that's the goal. I think Billy Napier sees the future being much brighter. And for that to kind of get there, you got to give some of those young guys a lot of playing time and kind of trial by fire. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Simmons, who's probably going to start out around QB3, QB quarterback 4, who's very talented, wouldn't be surprised if he gets some playing time. And then what you're looking at after 2023 with Graham Mertz, and hopefully you can go 7-5, maybe even 8-4, and hold that 2024 class together that is off to a really good start. Then you're really optimistic about your quarterback room in 2024. You have Austin Simmons, who's very talented and has played a little bit at the college football level. Then you have true freshman DJ Lagway, who you guys, I'm sure, all know is extremely talented. Bottom line is DJ Lagway and Austin Simmons both understand they need to come in and compete for a quarterback 1 spot. And at the end of the day, it's iron sharpens iron. And Florida, 12 months from now, is going to be in a way better spot in terms of their quarterback room than they are in right now. Right now, you don't really have a competition, right? Graham Mertz, Jack Miller, I don't think Florida fans are overly optimistic about either of those. You fast forward 12 months from now, Austin Simmons versus DJ Lagway, and Austin Simmons already has some experience. He's been in the offense for 12 months now. You're feeling a lot better about this quarterback room in 2024 and in 2025 if you can keep them both in the program, because you have 2 talented quarterbacks in Austin Simmons and DJ Lagway that, quite frankly, Graham Mertz, Jack Miller, I don't even think they're really close to the talent and potential that guys like DJ Lagway and Austin Simmons have. Now, you look at this Florida Gators roster, and we're going to do, a little bit of a 2023 preview. There's going to be a lot of young guys who have plenty of eligibility that are going to play. I want to start with this wide receiver room, right? You have Ricky Pearsall, the senior transfer. He's a guy that he's going to be good. He's going to play. I would not be surprised at all if you see a lot of Caleb Douglas, a lot of true freshmen, Andy Jean, Aiden Mizell, and Eugene Wilson. Like especially the true freshmen, and Andy Jean, Aiden Mizell, and Eugene Wilson, who are, from what I've heard out of camp, Andy Jean looked phenomenal in the spring. You have a couple burners in Aiden Mizell and Eugene Wilson. I think you're trying to get those guys a lot of playing time. So in 2024, when these guys are sophomores going into their second year, and whoever you have at quarterback, Austin Simmons or DJ Lagway, you're feeling really good about what this offense, the playmaking ability of this offense. And then you look in the backfield, I think there's a really good chance you have Montrell Johnson and Trevor Etienne both coming back again. And so you have some really good running backs, some really, really talented wide receivers, albeit they'll be young. They probably will get some playing time in 2023. Then you have 2 potentially very, very good quarterbacks in DJ Lagway and Austin Simmons. And within 12 months, you're feeling a lot better about how good this offense can be. And even when you look at the offensive line, I would be surprised if they lose too many of these guys. Keontae Goodwin coming over from Kentucky, he's a transfer, but he's only going into his second year of college football. He's a guy that was a former top 50 national player playing at tackle, coming over from Kentucky. I think he's really, really good. You're feeling good about that offensive line, kind of keeping keeping a lot of guys that'll be here playing in 2023, that'll be back in 2024. So again, it's on the offensive side of the ball. You're looking at a young group, and they might have some growing pains. That's for sure. But that being said, if you get them some playing time, get them some experience in 2024, I mean, we're going to be sitting here 12 months from now talking about this Florida Gators offense, and you're going to be really excited. And quite frankly, I think you can say a very similar thing on the defensive side of the ball. A guy like Kelby Collins, as a true freshman, I would be very surprised if he doesn't play meaningful amount. A guy like Chris McClellan coming into his second year, he's going to be another guy that's back in 2024. Princely U, I think you could probably sell him on coming back in 2024 as well. Shamar Jones at the linebacker spot. He's also a former top 100 recruit. He'll be back in 2024. And then in the back end, I think you got a bunch of young players who you feel really good about. A guy like Kamari Wilson, Jakeem Wilson, I believe, or Jakeem Jackson, I should say. Also another really talented true freshman that probably plays a lot. And so we've kind of talked about this. I'm not saying Florida should just throw away this 2023 season, because as a fan, as a coach, as the players, you all want to see winning football, right? You're going to root for them to win games. That being said, I don't think Billy Napier, you wouldn't say this, but this is not a SEC championship roster right now. From a talent standpoint, from a depth standpoint, they're not a team that you'd have at the top of the list to win an SEC title. That being said, if you do ask Billy Napier, you put a lie detector on him, what do you think this 2024 team can be? And I think this plays a large role in bringing Austin Simmons in. This could be a special team in 2024. You imagine Austin Simmons getting him some reps. I kind of go back, and as a Michigan fan, we kind of did J.J. McCarthy like that. True freshman, really talented, arguably should have been the starter. Cade McNamara was in there. But J.J. McCarthy got meaningful snaps, and they weren't just garbage time snaps. They were legit third quarter. Game is a two-score game. J.J. McCarthy's thrown in there. Just getting his feet wet a little bit in some moments that aren't just pure garbage time. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that with Austin Simmons, who, again, is an 18-year-old kid, right? He was a 2025 kid, but he's going to be 18 when he's playing snaps. He's not a young kid physically, age-wise. And what you're thinking is you have Austin Simmons, who has some experience. You have DJ Lagway, who certainly has the tools to start as a true freshman. And then around them, it's a bunch of guys on the offensive side of the ball who've played significant snaps now in 2023. And maybe you go 7-5, but you keep that 2024 class together. You add to it. This class is still going to be good, even though I know Florida fans have been complaining about it as of late. It's still going to be a very talented class. That's where I think this thing gets back on the right track. And we've talked about Dan Mullen did not leave this program exactly in a great spot roster-wise. And so give Billy Napier, I think, be patient with this process of rebuilding. And it's not a full rebuild, but there's definitely an element of you're rebuilding, trying to get back to that top 5 team that's expected in Gainesville. I think this is a really, really good move. At the end of the day, you're going to be entering in the 2024 season with Austin Simmons, who's already been in this offense for a year, and a very talented DJ Lagway. So you look at this quarterback room right now, I don't think a lot of Florida fans would be that excited about it. In 12 months, DJ Lagway, Austin Simmons competing for a spot, with Austin Simmons already having some game experience, a lot more excited. Then you're surrounded by guys like Aiden Mizell, Eugene Wilson, Andy Jean, with a young offensive line that has had experience and now is experienced in 2024. That's where I think it can be special for the Florida Gators in that 2024 and 2025 season. I think it's a great move. I don't think either Austin Simmons or Austin Simmons clearly isn't afraid of the competition. He wouldn't have committed to Florida after DJ Lagway in that 2024 class. And DJ Lagway, no doubt, is not afraid of it either. You got 2 really talented quarterbacks that are going to battle it out for that starting spot. And at the end of the day, your 2024 quarterback is going to earn that spot, and they're going to be ready to rock and roll in 2024. So I love the move. Again, this Florida team this year, 7-5 would be, I think, a very solid season. And then in 2024, it's on. Like that's when it's like, that's when if you're a Florida fan, say Billy Napier, you got to start winning some games, because this team is talented. It's young. It has some experience. That's what I think you're excited for if you're a Florida Gators fan. Again, wanted to keep this one short, but really interesting news out of Gainesville. Wanted to kind of fire off my takes. If you guys have your takes in the comments, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know. We'll talk it out in the comments section. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas as usual, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.